Welcome back, Big Easy Blitz podcast, episode 25. This is going to be our last episode for probably this week, as I am undergoing wisdom tooth surgery tomorrow. Not looking forward to it. We all poked fun at Connor when he had that episode with the swollen face, and now you'll get to see me probably on Thursday or Friday whenever I'm good to talk again. And I'm sure Connor's going to have his way with that.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah. But yeah, today we're just gonna be talking about the MLB All-Star rosters that were revealed. We have some snubs. I have a lot of snubs that I'm gonna get into. And then Connor, I'll let you tell them what we have at the end.
Yeah, so we're Brock and I are gonna be doing, I guess you could call it kind of a game. I don't know really if that's the right term. Um I guess more it's like trivia. I guess kind of like just what first pops into the mind for one of the games, and then we're going to be doing a wavelength later in the episode
Kind
too.
of,
So
kind of.
yeah, a wavelength with like an asterisk next to it. You'll see once we get there. Also it'll be on TikTok. Also, yeah. So follow us on all socials. Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Big Easy Blitz
We
Podcast.
we we reached 200 followers on Instagram. Now we did below it just recently. But it's okay. We still love every single one of y'all that follow us. If you don't follow us, it's okay. We're not really butthurt about it. Thank you for I think 220
Please
on
do though.
TikTok. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would much appreciated. It is free. It doesn't cost a dime to follow us or like anything. But if you don't, it's okay. We still love you. But with that, we'll get right in.
Yep, go
You
ahead.
want to do the AL or the NL side first?
Uh, let's start with your league. Let's start with the National League.
My league. Okay, so we'll do the starters for the National League at catcher. We have the Dodgers catcher with Will Smith, and this is a common theme. A lot of Dodgers. It's every year the Dodgers get a bunch of
Yep.
people in because it's fan voted and fan voting sucks. It's terrible. I hate it. It should be thrown away. You got guys that don't deserve to be all stars, let alone like starters alone, but let alone all stars that are starting in the All Star game.
Do you remember
Um,
I, I guess this might be 2 years ago now. Due to fan voting, Andrew Wiggins made the All-Star team for Golden
really,
State. Yep.
it fan
It,
voting in sports for anything needs to
it
go
doesn't
away.
make any sense. I mean, we could do like I seriously could go on like a 12 minute, like 15-minute rant about fan voting and how I think stupid it is, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, like it's. I mean, even a guy like I'll move on. One of the outfield, I'll do the outfield spots. We got PC and Kyle Tucker, who, even though I'm a biased Cubs fan, I think they deserve to be all stars. It's at least PCA, I would think. But I mean, would you agree, Connor? Both of them probably deserve to be all-star starters.
No, yeah, 100%.
But then you got a guy like Ronald Acuna. How is Ronald Acuna an all-star starter when he's only played about 40 games this year? That
Hey, you
doesn't make
better
any
hope to
sense.
God Harry don't see this.
Look, I look. Harry can't really talk right now. Harry actually got his wisdom teeth out today, so I wanted to hear from that for a little bit. But like Ronald Acuna. I'm a big Ronald Acuna guy. I don't even hate the Braves. I've been to a Braves game, which does not mean I'm a fan. I've been to a Yankees fan. I don't like the Yankees. I've been to a Rangers fan. Never mind. But like,
Continue.
I just don't understand how Ronald Acuna gets an All-Star starting nod when he might have gotten to 50 games total. It just doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
even know if you got to that.
Like, I mean, you got guys like I'll get to it because I'll get to it.
Yeah,
Um, so let's do the infield. DH Shohei Ohtani. That's pretty obvious.
enough said there. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have been. Yeah, I mean, you could put him at any position. It doesn't really matter. First base, Freddie Freeman. Don't really know how he got the starting job over a guy like Pete Alonso, just based off
Both are
stats this
having real
year.
good seasons,
They
but
are, they are.
like
Um,
you said, I mean, the Dodgers now obviously New York is a huge market too with a ton of fans, but
yeah, I feel like
um
more New York fans are Yankees fans though.
yeah, valid argument.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, round out the infield. The middle infield, it consists of Francisco Lindor from the Mets and Ketel Marte, who is quickly becoming a fan favorite of mine. Even I feel the thing that happened with him,
Yeah.
just awful what happened. That fan should be banned from every sporting event ever. If you don't know what happened, just go look it up. We're not going to touch on it here. But anyway, and to round out the infield, we have Manny Machado. Not really. The only complaint I have is Ronald Acuna, really. I get it. I mean, the All-Star game's in Atlanta. I guess you could. That might be the Atlanta fans probably came together to see him play in there. I guess I don't know. I just
Hmm.
don't really see how he's an All-Star starter. An All-Star starter. Let me preface that. But anyway, moving on to the American League. Probably the most deserving All-Star starter on this list. A catcher, Cal Raleigh. I see you smiling up there.
Elite
Uh,
rage bait, Brock.
I think okay. I mean, let's be honest. The dude's got. Would you not? I said one of. There's him and Judge are the two most deserving.
Yes, he's very deserving.
I think he's up to 35, 36 home runs. He had two of them on 4th of July.
Hmm.
There's very, there's, I mean, that day everyone was hitting homers. It was unbelievable.
They definitely juiced the ball.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous. I
He's
mean,
at he's at 35 home runs.
okay, okay, 30. I know he had two of them on 4th of July.
Hmm.
That's why I didn't know. But yeah, DH Ryan O'Hearn. I know he's having a really solid season. I've seen him a lot in trade talks, so that's something to look out for.
Yep.
First base, Vlad Guerrero. Second base, shout out you, Connor. Gleyber Torres, get in
Yep.
there, starting nod.
Hmm.
Um, Third base and shortstop, Jose Ramirez and Jacob Wilson. Not really much to say there. Jacob Wilson's pretty deserving. That dude is unbelievable. He's a hit machine. Um, yeah, I mean, we touched on it in the MVP episode.
If you
He's
would have
he's so
told
good.
me before the year started that the starting shortstop for the American League would not be Bobby Wood Jr., Gunnar Henderson, I would have looked at you like you were crazy.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. Yeah,
So shout out Jacob
100%.
Wilson. I mean, he's
Yeah,
100% deserving. I'm not taking anything away from
yes,
him,
yes,
but
absolutely.
kind of came out of nowhere.
hmm I'm happy for him. I mean, a guy at a small school at
100%.
Grand Canyon. I
Hmm.
mean, can't be anything but happy for the guy. And then the outfield, we got obviously the aforementioned Aaron Judge. It doesn't have like where they're playing. I would assume he's playing right field.
Yeah.
Okay, this just
And then
says
Riley
just
Green in left and Hobby in center.
shout out Javier Baez. I
Yeah.
don't know if he's deserving to be a starting all-star at center field, but I mean, as a Cubs fan, I love this guy. He brought us the first World Series in 2016. He was a part of that team. He had a small role, but because he was young, but still, I will always cherish the moments I got to watch from him in
Mhm.
Chicago. And I'm happy he's back. He's gonna probably not probably he's gonna win comeback player of the year, I would assume. I mean, I don't even know anybody else like in the running for that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, that's it for the start. They haven't named the starting pitchers yet. I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably gonna be Tariq Skubal versus Paul Skeens.
Right.
That
I'd
would be,
imagine.
yeah. I don't think. I mean, when I looked earlier, they did not have him announced. It was just a little weird.
Yeah. It's
Um,
got to be Scooball versus Skeens.
100%,
Mhm.
100%. All right, now moving on, we'll do the NL reserves. Or okay, let's do the pitchers first. So we have the AL pitchers. I'm just gonna fly through this. Not much I
Yeah.
need to talk about. So we have Hunter Brown, Chris Bubich, Aroldis Chapman. Shout out that dude still pumping 105, 104,
Somehow I
and
test them.
there's no way he's not juiced up. We were talking about this on Saturday. There's no way.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that dude's built like a
he's
Greek
built like a
god.
racehorse.
It's ridiculous. Garrett Crochet, DeGrom, shout out. Max Fried, Josh Hader, Yusei Kikuchi, Andres Munoz, Tariq Skubal, Shane Smith, and Brian Wu. Um, no complaints there, really. Shout out Brian Wu.
Yeah.
Really,
We are Brian Wu enthusiasts over here.
yes, we are. Like, love me some Brian Wu.
I
Um,
had Brian Wu for my most likely Mariner to make the Hall of Fame, I think.
think you did.
I think I
Yeah,
did.
pretty sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like 90, I'm 100%
Also,
sure
shout out
actually.
Yusei Kikuchi. He's having a good year for the Angels. He's 3-6 with a 2.8 ERA.
Yeah,
So
shout out Yusei Kikuchi. Um,
thank you, thank you.
yeah, I mean, not, I feel like this is probably the most deserving of them. The one guy I do have a snub for this, and I'll just do that right now. That's Framber Valdez.
Yeah,
He's having a fantastic season so far. I don't know how he didn't make it. I have his stats pulled up right here, actually. He's 10-4 this year. Okay, he's 10-4 before the All-Star break with a 2.9 ERA and 115 strikeouts, and he didn't make the All-Star team.
yeah. That's
That's
wild. That's wild.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how I really don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, All Star is probably the fan voting. It kind of sucks. Now that I'm looking at this, hold on. No, never mind. Okay, I'm reading it right. Yeah, I don't know how he didn't make it. Just plain and simple. Maybe I mean, who is he really going to replace when you're looking at it with some of the starters like
I mean,
Hunter
Kikuchi's got to
Brown?
be there.
Yeah. I mean, there's guys that are probably more deserving, but I mean, I think he should have got in. But that's not for me to decide. I mean, pitchers in the All-Star game isn't really that big of a deal. They throw one inning and they come out. I mean, these
Yeah.
guys aren't going to throw one inning. I don't really know how they're going to divvy this up.
A team from like the team, every team has to be represented, huh?
I don't,
It's
I don't think
yes,
so.
it is,
I
cause
mean, yeah, a guy like Shane Smith from the White
yeah, that's what
Sox.
I'm
I
saying.
don't know
Like
how
every team has
he's
to be represented.
maybe.
If that was not the case, guys like Hunter Goldman or Goodman would not
Oh,
have made
oh
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
or like you just said, Shane
Shane
Smith.
Smith.
So
Yeah,
every team has to be represented. But if that was not the case, Framber Valdez 1,000,000% would be in.
oh yeah, for sure. It's and like yeah, like you said. I had something to say. I completely forgot it was something about that. Oh, I'm thinking of NFL, where not every team has to be,
Yeah, no,
uh,
no,
because
no.
the Saints didn't have
This
any.
is the MLB's the only team like or league like that.
Yeah, okay. Which I mean,
NBA is not.
I kind of like that. I mean, if your team's having a down year, you still get to see one of your guys perform on one of the bigger stages other
Yeah.
than the
But naturally,
playoffs.
there's going to be more snubs with that, you know.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Let's move on to the National League pitchers. We got Jason Adam, Matthew Boyd, shout out my Cubbies, Edwin Diaz, Mackenzie Gore, shout out Coach Hattie, who called that early in the season. It was
Really?
opening day, actually. Coach Hattie, yeah, I swear to God, we were in world history class, and he told a friend of ours, I'm not going to name drop him, to put the house on Mackenzie Gore over on strikeouts. And he got that. And
That is crazy.
I've always remembered that. So Coach Hattie knows ball. I doubt he's watching this, but Coach Hattie knows ball. Freddie Peralta, Robbie Ray, Randy Rodriguez, Chris Sale, Skeens, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and finally Clayton Kershaw was the legend pick.
Mhm.
Is he retiring after this year? Did I miss them?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I
I
would
really
assume
don't
so
know.
if they picked him for the legend pick.
Kershaw's numbers are sneaky good though.
They
That
are.
they are. He's 4-0, has a 3.4 ERA, has a 1.2 WHIP. So I mean,
And 3,000 strikeouts, shutout. I don't know if we touched on
exactly.
that the last episode. I feel like we
Mhm.
skipped over that because we were in Brad's house. But all right. And then finally, I'm gonna go over the reserves for each team. The catching reserves for the American League, we got Alejandro Kirk, Hunter Goodman for the catching position, as you said, that's the NL catcher.
Yeah.
The infielders for the American League, Jonathan Aranda, shout out. We mentioned him in the MVP conversation. Not like the MVP episode. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, I think I had
Um,
him at like number 5.
yeah. Alex Bregman, LSU boy, shout out.
Hasn't he been hurt like all year?
Yeah, he started off red hot though.
No, I know. Yeah, yeah.
That's probably why. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. But he has been injured. Speaking of a guy who's injured, Jeremy Pena just got put on the 60-day IL, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Hmm.
And he's in the All-Star game. Jazz Chisholm, Brandon Lau, and Bobby Witt, like you said. It's kind of crazy that Gunner's not in the All-Star game.
Yep.
Now I'm looking at that, but I know that just or Jackson Holiday, sorry, he's having a pretty good year. I thought Brandon told me he was in the All-Star game, but that's what I get for listening to Brandon when it comes to baseball news.
Wait, he Brandon did say he was in the All-Star game. Is he not?
Yeah, he's not. He's not listed on here. I'm on MLB's official website. So
That's funny.
yeah. Moving on to the National League. Sorry to bore you. I'm just kind of running through this so I can get to the snubs. We got Pete Alonso, Ellie De La Cruz, Brendan Donovan. Not deserving, but the St. Louis has to be um represented, I guess. Matt Olson and Eugenio Suarez. Outfielders for the American League, Byron Buxton, Stephen Kwan, J-Rod. That's Julio Rodriguez, obviously.
We'll touch on
And
him
then
later.
yeah, Connor's got some words for him. And then National League, finish this up. Corbin Carroll, Kyle Stowers, Tatis, and James Wood. And if I'm not mistaken, that's it. Oh, okay. The DHs, Brent Rooker for the AL and Kyle Schwarber for the NL.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where I'm going to start, actually. Kyle Schwarber as the NL DH over a guy like Seiya Suzuki.
Yikes.
Now, I'm a Cubs fan. That is no,
Secret. Not a
yeah,
secret.
yeah, no
It's very
secret
well
to
known on this
anybody.
podcast.
If you are a fan of this podcast, you know that I'm a Cubs fan. Um, and I don't get me wrong, I love Kyle Schwarber, former Cub. He brought us a
Great
World
player too.
Series.
He's
Great
a good
player,
player.
great player. He's not leading the league in RBIs right now. You know who's leading the league in RBIs right now, Connor?
Say
Seiya Suzuki. You know who's not an All-Star and who is an All-Star?
Kyle
Kyle
Tucker or
Schwarber's an
Kyle
All-Star,
Schwarber's an all-star.
and Seiya's not. I don't understand. I mean, I'm not saying he should be in over a guy like Schwarber, but I'm just saying he could be a DH. He could be now. Granted, Kyle Schwarber has 27 home runs, 62 RBIs. Very good, very deserving of an All-Star. Don't get me wrong. But how is a guy like? Let me go up. Hold on, I lost it. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Ronald Acuna, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, I know he's a hometown kid. The Braves have to be um what's the word? I'm losing it. Jesus.
Represent?
Yeah, that I gotta work
Jesus.
on my language skills, dude, if I'm doing a podcast. Anyway, still like I don't want to I have Seiya stats right here. Hold on. Okay, he has like I said, he's leading the league in the league, not the National League. He's leading the MLB in RBIs with 77. Okay.
Hmm.
He's at his 25 home runs. He had his second one, his 25th last night, which was actually crazy. I was watching the game and the announcers were talking about how he should be an all-star and it would be cool to see him in the home run derby. And then it was actually really cool. One of the announcers says, yeah, I'd be down. And the very next pitch he goes yard. And that was a
That
pretty
must
cool
be a
moment.
sign.
Maybe he is in the home run derby. I haven't looked at that yet, but it doesn't matter because he's not an all-star, so it's stupid. Now DH is very deep in the NL. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Okay, you got a guy like Otani and Schwarber, obviously, who's having a very good year, but Suzuki has had a phenomenal year. He's that's really, I mean, he's batting 250, which is not the greatest. However, he's got 27 home runs, like I said, or 25 home runs with 77 RBIs. He's a hit machine. He's an offensive machine. I don't understand how he didn't get in. Obviously, my Cubs bias, is that a word? I don't know if it's a word, but if it is, Cubs bias is coming out. But I don't know. This is why fan voting shouldn't be a thing because you
Hmm.
got big market teams that are just all their fans are just putting in a bunch of votes, just stating the obvious there, and it's taken away from guys like and not the next guy, Trey Turner. Did you know Trey Turner is second in the MLB in hits right now?
No. Really?
Yeah, he has 109 hits on the season, and he's not an all-star.
Whoa. Are you serious? What's he
It's
batting?
ridiculous. 299. So just like basically
300. Call it
300
300.
with 11 home runs and 39 RBIs.
Yeah.
But he's top 15 in the league in F4 this season,
Uh,
which is it's ridiculous. I just don't understand it. Um, I think I had uh OPS plus pulled up. I don't see it now.
it's just like with MLB voting, it's really hard because you have the fan voting, then every team has to be represented. So, I mean, naturally, there's going to be a ton of snubs. I mean, like you just said, Seiya Suzuki, the guy's leading the league in RBIs, and he's not in the All-Star game. I wonder who the last person is, if there's ever been a person, to be leading the league in RBI going into the Midsummer Classic and not make the All-Star game. I
Yeah,
wonder if that's
it's
like, I wonder if that's ever happened.
I
Seiya
I
Suzuki
would
might be the
argue
first, but
it
that's
probably is. It's
with
ridiculous.
today's day and age with social media, um, fan voting, like you said, the markets, big markets kind of dominate things like this. Like I mentioned, the Andrew Wiggins thing. It naturally there's going to be people that are unhappy. That's just
Right.
the way it's going to work. And until they do something about it, uh, many fans like you, Brock, are going to be disappointed because one of their favorite players didn't make it.
Mhm.
So, with that
And don't
being
get me wrong,
said, what's
the
that?
Cubs are very well represented. Okay, there's three guys that made the
Yeah.
All-Star team for the Cubs. I'm not like saying that we're having a great year this year, okay, but I thought we'd maybe get a little bit more. There's two guys I thought were snubs. The other one's not really. It's just probably just me being biased. The other one's Carson Kelly. Not really gonna touch on him. He probably doesn't deserve to be an All-Star. But I thought for the longest time I kept saying things about how he because like a possible starter. First off, like that was the thing that he might have been a starter and he's not even in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But I'm not really gonna touch on him. He's kind of been struggling recently. But yeah, back on Trey Turner, he is second in the National League in batting average at 299. Leading is Freddie Freeman. Actually, that's crazy. Um, yeah, he's first in the NL in hits, as I said, with 109. That's 10 more than anybody else in the NL. He is third in the league in the NL in stolen bases with 22. So he's still got some wheels on him. Okay. I mean, this he's playing very well this year, but he's not an all-star. Like kind of like you said, fan voting, but it's
Also,
just kind of
Tatis not making the All-Star game. Did Tatis make it?
Yeah, he made it. He's a
Oh, he did?
reserve.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
I
yeah, I
saw
mean,
a thing about him should have been starting maybe over Ronald just because Ronald didn't play that much,
yeah,
but
that's I don't know. I don't just don't understand it. But yeah, that's all I got on that. My last NL snub was Juan Soto, which I kind of touched on with Connor earlier. Just he struggled out the gate, but he's been red hot recently. I think he's at 27 home runs or 21 home runs, 21 home runs.
he's an
Could be a guy that
on-base
got
machine
in.
though. So
Yeah. I could see why he's not in just because of his slow start. Not really too much to touch on with that. The outfield in the NL is also loaded. So I mean,
Mhm.
they're so deep. But yeah, that's all for my NL snubs. Connor, do you have any NL snubs before I move on to AL?
No, I mean like I obviously being a Yankees fan, I have as much a problem with Juan Soto as the next guy, but him having this season he's having, yes, he had a slow start. I understand that. Him not being an all-star is kind of crazy to me. And I don't like the guy, like I said. I think what he did to the Yankees faithful is kind of messed up. But yeah, I think he has over a 900 OPS, and for him not to make the All-Star game is absurd. It's absurd. Now I understand he has a noodle arm in the outfield and all that stuff. Um, but seeing a household name like that not being at the All-Star game with the season he's had is it's a little head scratching. But
Mhm.
I'm not complaining about it at all. Don't get it twisted. Um, and then I guess just to kind of switch over to the AL, Julio Rodriguez making the All-Star game makes absolutely zero sense. He has a 695 OPS. A
And
695.
yes,
That is a bad hitter. Now I understand he's electric and everything. Like, okay, I get that. He's got swagger, quote unquote. But I, I'm just using this as an example. I'm a Yankees fan. Cody Bellinger is having a much better season than Julio Rodriguez. A much better season. And I mean, he wasn't even really talked. Like, I haven't heard much buzz for Cody to make an All-Star game.
I'm glad you just said that actually, because I want to compare two guys' stats, and one of them is Julio Rodriguez, like you just said, and another guy. I'm not gonna tell you who it is because I don't think you're gonna guess this, but I'm gonna read this guy's stats compared to Julio. So Julio is batting
An
247.
AL
This
outfielder?
Yes, AL outfielder. Very household name if you're a baseball fan. 247 for Julio. This guy's batting 281. Julio has 11 home runs. This guy has 16 home runs. Julio has 43 RBIs. This guy has 53. Julio, or you said he's batting 690 or OPS of 695. This guy has an 886 OPS. This guy that I'm talking about also lead is top five in the AL in slugging percentage, OPS, OPS plus, and WRC plus. And he's not an all-star. I want you to try and guess who this is because I don't think you're gonna get it. And you're probably gonna be very shocked when I tell you.
Let's see. So the dude's a great player.
Great player. This year he's having a great player. He's the last couple of seasons he's been struggling because he's getting older. But this season he's had a very underrated season. He's
Uh,
on his second team. I'll give you that hint.
like of his career.
Mhm.
Ugh.
You're gonna be extremely surprised when I tell you this. I'm just gonna let you know that right now.
I normally struggle on the spot. Let's see. Also just
While he's thinking about that, his slugging percentage is 512. His OPS is 886, like I said. OPS plus is 147 and WRC plus is 147. For those who don't know, the average MLB OPS plus and WRC plus is 100. This guy's at 147.
who
You
also shout
and
out Cam Smith. He's having a good year for the
yeah.
Astros.
Speaking of, like you said, Astros, former Astro George Springer is who I'm talking about right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's having an unbelievable year and he's
I
not an
can't
all-star.
stand George Springer, but
That's
yeah.
fair. That's fair. I mean, understandable as a Yankees fan you are. I've never had a problem with George Springer. I think he's a likable guy. It was weird seeing him go to the Blue Jays, but I feel like
Mhm.
he's fine now. But yeah, how is this guy not an all-star? I just don't understand it. Like he's got 79 hits. He's at 80 hits on the season. He's
Forget
got
Cody, bro. He George
yeah,
Springer needs to be an
dude,
all-star in
it's
front of
ridiculous. And you have a guy
Julio.
like Julio Rodriguez, like you said. Byron Buxton's having a really good season. I don't know how he's not a starter. Speak on
Yeah.
that. But I'm here to talk about George Springer, who my uncle was a very big Astros fan. He used to love George Springer on the Astros, and he's having one of his best seasons of his career at the tail end of his career, and he's not an all-star. But a guy like Javier Baez is a starting center fielder, and I'm a big Javier Baez fan. But how is George Springer not starting a center field over Javier Baez?
The Javier Baez is that's kind of crazy.
That's like textbook fan voting. Everybody just
Yeah.
came together to vote for him.
hmm I mean, I'm not complaining about this specifically because I think that's really cool because it's just how bad Javier Baez has been the last couple of years. Like genuinely worst hitter in the
Oh yeah,
league.
for sure.
Um, I, it still shouldn't be like that though. Like realistically, Javier Baez should not be a starter. Okay,
Exactly.
maybe a reserve, but even then, like he's still taking up a whole spot. Uh, but again, you're not going to hear many people gripe about that just because, it's a feel-good story.
Yeah. Um, I don't. I think Javier Baez actually has more innings at shortstop than he does center field this year.
Really?
I'm looking that up right now. Actually, it doesn't even matter. He shouldn't be starting. Okay. Okay, never mind. That's forget I even mentioned that. That number is way long bigger than I thought. I think that's his career at shortstop. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I
probably
mean,
is.
any final thoughts on the All-Star game? I have Junior Caminero as a snub, but
Yeah.
because he's having a very good
Uh,
year.
Maybe not a snub, but like, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him
Yeah,
because
I
he
mean,
deserves to be mentioned in something like this.
he's a third baseman, right? And my ball knowledge
I
is
think so.
okay,
I
but I
think
mean,
so.
the third base in the AL exploded with J Ram and a guy's like, hold on, hold on one second.
Do do.
J Ram, all right. J Ram Bregman. I mean, can't really put him in over those guys.
Yeah.
Um, Jazz Chisholm. How was he? Now that I'm looking at this, I thought he was having a down year, like a
No,
really down
no,
year.
Jazz having a good year.
Okay, well then I was they're not listening. I was came upon a Talking Yanks podcast, which is John Boy, and
Mhm.
they were saying he was having a down year. Maybe they're just fake Yankees fans. I guess I don't know.
That might have been a while ago. Cause
You know, this was recent because they're saying he should be moved to second base because he's
well,
bad
yeah,
at
because
third
I mean he is
base.
a second baseman, but no, Jazz is having a good year. He's batting 245, 15 home runs, 841 OPS. So he's having a
Well,
solid
he
year.
also came out of the gate super hot with that torpedo bat though, and you can't. I mean, as a Yankees fan, you
Well,
gotta.
no, so he came out the gate hitting a lot of home runs, but
Yeah,
his
that's.
average was like 190.
Oh, okay.
And
So
then he
he's
got
home
hurt,
run.
and then ever since he's come back off of IL, he's been
Okay.
blistering.
Speaking of Yankees, my godfather's a big Yankees fan, and he can't stand Aaron Boone. He thinks this is the year he finally gets fired. Do you think that's
If this is what I'll say. If
because y'all are
Aaron
struggling
Boone
right now bad?
if Aaron Boone didn't get fired during the month of June that the Yankees just had, he's never going to get fired.
Wow.
Because
Barring some like catastrophic thing that
well,
y'all
yeah,
like
I
missed the
mean, what the
playoffs or
Yankees
something.
just did in June, and for him not to get fired, I don't know what else he has to do. You
I mean,
know,
y'all went from leading the division by 3 games at some point to I don't know
no, we were
how.
leading the division by like 7 games at one point. Now we're
Oh my
trailing the
God.
Blue Jays by like 30.
Yeah, that's yeah. Y'all are 3 games back of the Blue Jays,
I'm
and
saying
y'all are tied with the Rays right now. So y'all could very easily be third in the division after today.
exactly.
That's
Um,
crazy.
but no, I mean that's all I got for the All-Star voting. I mean, some I would say there needs to be like a solution, but at the end of the day, not everybody's going to be happy with anything. So,
Right. I mean, it's cool that like yeah, fans can vote their players, but like it gets to a certain like don't let them vote starters.
yeah.
Like the MLB themselves should pick the starters.
Or
Let
maybe
let
like designate like just a couple spots for people,
yeah,
you
not the
know?
entire. You can't let fans pick the entire starting lineup. That's just
Yeah.
not smart. And we
Mhm.
see it. I mean, the Dodgers have 5 to 6 all stars every year
Mhm.
just because they're in a big market city like LA. It's frustrating.
Yep.
But moving
Um,
on from unless you have any final thoughts.
no, that's all I got. So
Okay.
next we're gonna do, like I said, this little game I was talking about in the beginning of the episode. So I am going to be naming a handful of cities, and Brock has to give me the first athlete, any sport that comes to mind. So, for example, I say, um, I don't know. I say like New Orleans, and then
Drew Brees.
yeah, Brock gives me Drew Brees. So, with that being said, um,
It's any sport, right?
yes,
I'm
any sport, and I'm just
okay.
gonna, list them off quickly here. So,
I'm gonna close my like not that that matters, but I'm gonna try and lock in right here. You can go.
all right. New Orleans. Give me someone not named Drew Brees.
Alvin Kamara,
Seattle.
Julio Rodriguez,
Orlando.
Paulo Banchero,
Tampa Bay.
Tom Brady,
Miami.
Jalen Waddle,
All right. Los Angeles.
LeBron. It's
New
me.
York.
Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Well,
Brooklyn.
first name Brooklyn, Kevin
Brooklyn.
Durant.
Okay. Uh, Charlotte.
Hold on. Just say it again. I gotta like
Charlotte.
LaMelo. It's
Okay.
immediately
Kansas City.
Mahomes.
Not Pacheco.
Uh,
Detroit.
Jared Goff.
Milwaukee.
Giannis.
Cincinnati.
Uh, I immediately thought of Travis Kelce because he went to Cincinnati. I don't know why I thought of that. That's a random. Okay. I'll think of sports team. I'll go Jamar Chase,
Okay. Cleveland.
Jose Ramirez,
Sacramento.
De'Aaron Fox,
Portland.
CJ McCollum,
Toronto.
Bo Bichette,
Phoenix.
Devin Booker,
Denver.
Peyton Manning,
Boston.
Rafael Devers. What the f
San Francisco.
Rafael Devers.
Houston.
Jose Altuve,
Dallas.
Luka Doncic. Ooh, salt on the moon there.
Chicago.
Chris Bryant, my
Really?
goat,
Okay.
my favorite player of all
Um,
time.
that's all I got. That's all like the
Wow,
cities that I
I
got off
like
the top of
that.
them.
I like that.
Uh, I
I
I think you did
I,
pretty well.
I
The
kind of want to ask.
Cincinnati Travis Kelce one's
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know why
bizarre
that's
to me.
immediately what I went to. I kind of want to ask you the same one, but you kind of thought about it. I feel like I take it away, and I don't have the list in front of me. So,
Yeah, no, it's fine.
okay,
Um,
moving on to my
yeah, the
unless
wavelength.
you moving on to my game. So I'm gonna let's explain it first. So I'm gonna think of a sports player, and Connor's gonna name uh a player, and I'm gonna say based on kind of like the what he says, I'm gonna give a number. So let's say
How
I'm
close it
thinking
is.
of yeah. So let's say I'm thinking of okay, they're that they when we were talking about it before, he said Jason Tatum. If he says like a guy like I don't know, Drew Holiday, that would be a six because he's up there. He's not on the Celtics anymore. But if you said Jalen Brown, that's a nine. He's right there.
And it could
So
be any sport. So I'm gonna give myself 8 guesses.
okay, I'm just gonna be honest. It's probably gonna be from the NBA, NFL, or MB or MLB.
That's
I'm
what I
not a
meant.
big
Yes,
hockey. Yeah.
100%. Okay.
Eight. You're doing eight guesses.
Let's do 10. 10.
Okay. I'm gonna write down the name on here and then show it to y'all. But you look away.
Okay, all right.
Me think. Hold on. I don't have it yet. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I got it.
Let me know.
Hold on. All right. I'm showing it to them now. Y'all read that. Don't look. I can't see your face, so don't look. All
Okay.
right. They see it. It was backwards, but I hope they see it. All right. You
All right,
can
we're
go.
good?
Yep.
All right. All right, here we go. Let's start with Cal Raleigh.
One.
Okay. All right. Um, so guessing it's not a baseball player. Let's go with um let's go with Giannis.
Uh, one.
Okay.
I was trying to think like the city because that would help a little bit. But
Yeah. Uh let's go Tua Tagovailoa.
I'll give you a three.
3.
I'm
Okay.
not gonna tell you why, but you can use kind of your use your brain a little bit. Get the gears turning.
All right. I think I might need more like 12.
That's fine.
All right, let's
We'll
go.
cap you at 20 just because I watch Breadbasket a lot. They do
Yeah,
that. They do
okay.
20 questions, so we'll do that.
So Tua was a
We should have done.
3.
All right, we're doing that after. We're gonna do you ask me or I ask you 20 questions and then you ask me 20 questions to get a player. We'll
Okay.
cross that bridge when we get there. You just do this real quick. Your
All
three
right.
guesses
So
in.
Tua is a 3. Let's go with Alvin Kamara.
Okay. Five.
5.
hmm But
Okay.
five. I'll leave you with that.
5. Uh let's see. Alvin Kamara, let's go. Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, you got it. That was it.
That was it?
Yeah,
Are you
that's it.
serious?
Right there.
All right, let's
You see
go.
it?
Yep.
Okay,
All
so
right.
it was weird. I said Tua was a three because AFC, but then you said Camaro. So I was like, all right, he's a running back. I got it.
Yeah. No, I think you handled that pretty well. All right, you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. It's
All
fun.
right.
All right, I'll cover my screen so y'all can see it. Oh,
All right,
wait,
I'm
never
about to
mind.
write it down.
I'll just let
Let's
me know.
go with I gotta make sure it's somebody you know.
Uh,
Let's do
okay, so just breaking news. Paolo Banchero just signed a 5-year max rookie contract
oh
extension.
wow,
That could reach
287 million.
287 million. Jesus, Lord. I just said that because when you said Orlando, I said Paolo Banchero.
Oh my God.
Good God.
That is a lot of money.
God, my kid's playing basketball this longer.
Yeah. Um, let's go with all right. Wait, no, don't look yet. All right. Oh wait, don't look. I'm showing it right now. Y'all can see that. All right, Rob.
All right. I'll start with let's go Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton, I'll give you a that's a good first guess. I'll give you a 6.
Wow. Hey, that makes you think Eastern Conference. Oh, he got traded. Oh my God, I forgot he got traded. Can you help me out? What team is he on now?
I think he's on the Wizards. He's
Yeah,
on the
because it's
Wizards.
Kyle Kuzma. Okay. Okay.
We only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here.
You serious?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Let me just do Giannis. Other buck.
Giannis, okay, 6.
6. Okay. Um, that makes you think. Oh, the position. I don't know positions. I'll just go Zion. Let's see what Zion is.
Okay, Zion, I'll give you a 7.
Okay. Um, uh, uh, Anthony Davis.
6.
God, this. Um, Jackson Hayes.
It's 4.
He, God, it's a lot harder on this side of the game. I'll say you don't know the player. Um, so my inkling is it's an Eastern Conference power forward. Is that accurate?
No, that's not accurate.
Okay.
Actually, complete opposite.
It's a Western Conference center.
No,
Um,
no. Western Conference.
point guard is what is immediately where my mind went. The way you reacted to that, John Morant. I gotta like speed guess this. We
All right,
have a
there we
minute.
go. All right, now we got 8. Ah, I'll give
Okay.
you a 9. I'll give you 9. John
Desmond
Moran.
Bain? Is it Des? No, no, Desmond Bain got traded. I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no,
Triple J.
no.
What is Triple J? What number are you giving for
Triple J, I'll
that?
give you a 6.
What the?
All right, I'll give you 10 more seconds.
Is it Luca?
Nope.
Um,
He's left-handed.
oh, James Harden?
He has a 3-letter last name that's an animal.
De'Aaron Fox?
Yep. All right.
Ah,
All right. We will we're wrapping this up right now, but Brock and I might do another short little thing later.
yes. I want to try
So,
the game I was talking about.
yeah. All right. We will
All
see
right.
y'all later. See ya.
See ya.